What's up? What I want to talk about is how we so-called black people are not Hebrew Israelites. Simply because there's no proof that Israelites existed. But you can prove that Egyptians existed. That's in that Bible. Because they are actually, in drawings, that you can see on the walls, You heard me? So it ain't no such thing as a Hebrew Israelite, We are the children of Africa, not the children of Israel, You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that you're an Israelite if you so-called black. That's nonsense. These people that's saying that they're Israelites, they deceiving themselves and deceiving others, You know what I'm saying? I used to think that I was a Hebrew Israelite until I woke up and found out that was false. You heard me? I'm actually a descendant of the people of Africa, of the Negroes of Africa, So, every so-called black person is actually a descendant of a person from Africa, a black person from Africa, not no Israelite, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't prove that Israelites existed nowhere in history, the black people that's enslaved, that's in those drawings over there in Egypt, in that place where you can find those drawings of the Egyptians, where they had those black people enslaved like them. They're actually a different kind of tribe of black people, tribe of African people, You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no such thing is Israelites back in ancient times. You know what I'm saying? They never existed. Because African people was going to war with different African people, because it was different kind of African people in ancient time, in ancient civilizations. It was different kind of African civilizations. It wasn't just one. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's different, just like it's billion different tribes in the continent of Africa. It was the same thing back then. So those people that's enslaved are not Israelites. Those Negro people that you see in those drawings, those weren't Israelites. Those was just enslaved African people that the Egyptians was putting in slavery. You know what I'm saying? Putting in bondage. You know what I'm saying? Because it was war going on. You know what I'm saying? It was African people fighting against other African people. You know what I'm saying? Ancient Africans fighting against other ancient Africans. You know what I'm saying? Civilizations. So that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Africans was putting Africans in slavery, basically. You know what I'm saying? Slaving other Africans. You know what I'm saying? If you do your history, do your research. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making this up. So, it ain't no Israelites like they say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sticking cold-hearted to that. You know what I'm saying? And to the death of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what these Israelites promote. They deceiving our people. Yeah, they might be having a good message and waking up our people to do righteousness, but they also teaching false. And one thing that they teaching false is that we are not the children of Africa. We are not African descent. You know what I'm saying? We different people from them. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? When we the same. Because there's no proof that no Israelites existed. You know what I'm saying? You know, a black person is a black person. You know, your identity is your identity. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing else. You know, a Negro is an African. You know what I'm saying? You know, a black person is an African. You can't take that away. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's what it is. I'm sticking to that. You know, if you look like a black person, you're a black person. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other race. If you look like any other race, you that race. You know what I'm saying? You know, it doesn't make any sense to say you're not that race when you look exactly like that race. You know what I'm saying? The only difference between the so-called Negroes in Africa and the so-called Negroes here in America, you know, we got a different culture from those black people in Africa. You know what I'm saying? We don't live how they live. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? Although they might have different bone structures, then they might have that, but they the same people as we are. You know what I'm saying? They the closest people to look like us. You know, over here in America, because you'll find any black person that look like a person in Africa. You know what I'm saying? You know, if let's say we all don't look like the Africans over there in Africa, but a lot of black people do. You know what I'm saying? If not all. So how you gonna say we're not the same people? That's ludicrous. You know what I'm saying? That's nonsense to say that. I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? So it's not righteous to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's confusion. You know, it's actually confusion. You know, just like that 12 tribe chart, the so-called 12 tribe chart that they push. That's confusion. That's confusion of people. That's another deception. You know what I'm saying? It's all kinds of deception and lies that religion put on our people. You know what I'm saying? And that's just another religion. Israelitism is just another religion. Pushing that you are Hebrew Israelite, that's just another religion. Telling other races of people that they are Hebrew Israelites. Another deception, you know, another lies on our people. Just like these other religions, just like Christianity, you know, and stuff like that. Your Islam, you know, got some lies in it. Every religion got some lies in it. They got some truth. What I like about religion, it wakes you up to do better. Then, you know, it helps you be righteous. But what I hate about religion, it also brings deception. You know what I'm saying? Deception. You know what I'm saying? That need to be plucked out. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't so, if religion didn't have no deception, then religion, you know, I would be with religion 100%. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Religion is not perfect. It have flaws in it. Every religion have flaws in it. I'm pretty sure. You know, so, you know, I'd rather live in 100% truth than lies. I respect that it wake people up and make them better, but at the same time, I don't want to fall for no lie because I'm not a liar. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying for truth. I'd rather to be with the full truth than the lies. What it look like? I know the truth, and I'm still, even if I was wicked and it better than me, what it look like? I'm standing in lies and being something, and it's a lie. A Christian or Muslim or any kind of stuff in that part of their religion in his lies, and I'm waking up to find out it ain't the truth. I just rather be a righteous person. You know what I'm saying? You're not follow in their beliefs. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? I want to be following the full truth, the full belief. That's righteous. You know, that's stupid. If I'll be a stupid fool if I'm knowing it's false, and you know, I came to the conclusion that it, you know what I'm saying, that it's false, and I'm still rolling with it. No, I ain't gonna roll with nothing if I know it's false. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be nothing especially a evil person. If I'll never be just an evil person. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? So I know what it look like me turning evil and just being evil worldly, when I know ain't nothing good gonna happen to me by doing it. It's either prison, it's either being locked up or death. You know what I'm saying? What it look like me falling in the ways of unrighteousness, when I know it's only gonna lead me to destruction, lead me to my downfall. It has a low vibration. It don't even make me feel good. It wouldn't make me feel good. It'll be like me eating something and that'll make me sick. I get food poison if I eat the fruits of unrighteousness, the rotten fruits of unrighteousness, and start being evil. I wouldn't feel good. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not made for jail. I'm not made for, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? My spirit is not made for that. You know what I'm saying? My spirit can't handle being unrighteous. You know what I'm saying? I won't feel right. You know what I'm saying? That'll make me sick. You know what I'm saying? That'll make me sick to my stomach. I hate everything unrighteous. I hate everything foul. I hate things. I hate rotten things. I hate the smell of crap. Things that don't smell good. The smell of stink. I hate everything that stink. You know what I'm saying? The smell of everything stink. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. Everything unrighteous I hate. Everything bad I hate. So what it look like me being unrighteous, and knowing the truth and not pushing the truth. You know what I'm saying? And not being in the truth. So that's not the truth. That I'm an Israelite and that all my people are Israelites. Nah. We're not Israelites. We're not Hebrews. We're not them people of that Bible that are Israelites. They don't exist. They're made up characters. You know what I'm saying? All the people that's Israelites, they made up characters. You know what I'm saying? The only people that existed are those Hamites people, the Egyptians, and so on. You know what I'm saying? Those people are actually here today. Those people are actually us. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? You heard me? African people, those are our people. Those are us. The people in Africa, their culture is our culture. You know what I'm saying? That's our culture. We just don't practice that culture. If anything, we were stripped out of that culture, because I'm pretty sure we had a culture in ancient times over here in America. But, we've been stripped of that culture. We've been stripped of the language, over centuries, you know what I'm saying? Centuries ago and stuff, So, we didn't always have English in our vocabulary. That been put up on us, you know what I'm saying? And we dressed it like how the Africans dress, because that's actually, our culture that we supposed to have, go by. Whether you're Afro-Indian or whether you're a regular Afro person, you know what I'm saying? Here in America, in ancient civilization, we as so-called black people, African people, we had our own language. We had our own dress code. You know what I'm saying? We had our own way of living. You know what I'm saying? It definitely went like it is now. We definitely live like how we living now. So, you can slash that Israelite stuff into bits, burn it, that you're a Hebrew Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Burn that. They need to be thrown away. They need to be burned in the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no good. I've been through that away. I've been through that. I've been burnt. The fact that I was an Israelite. I terminated that. I deleted that. And it's going to stay deleted. I'm getting better and better in my conscious mind. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? Forget what these Israelite people say. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? I ain't from no Israel. My people are not Israelites. My people are Africans. You know what I'm saying? You heard me? You know what I'm saying? Our people, my people is of the continent of Africa. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? Those are the people that I stand for. You know what I'm saying? The people that look like me over there in Africa. Not those people that's written down in that book called Israelites, because I never seen them before. They don't exist here and today. You know what I'm saying? The only people that I see here and today are those people that existed, or those people in Africa. You know, I don't know nothing about no Israelite. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that is. You hear me? Never saw one. You know? So with that being said, y'all ain't no Hebrew Israelites. Y'all the children of Africa. You know what I'm saying? The children, the descendants of Africans. You know what I'm saying? You hear me? You know? Y'all be cool.